Because
ask your kid.
They're not even answering.
Ask your kid.
They blocked my kid. They blocked my kid off of other.
No. What I'm saying is your kid knows. Here's the other thing I want to say. I mean, he took it. I don't think this other kid shoved it down. I can just picture when I was 15, one of my buddies coming up to me and going, "Oh, man, check these out. I got some gummies. I got them from my parents' drawer, blah, blah, blah. It's marijuana." I probably would have taken it without even thinking of it. So, I mean, it's like, I don't know. Your kid's got most of the responsibility here, whether he's 15 or, 18. Don't you think he really does? Or did they sneak it to him? Are you trying to say he didn't know what he was taking?
No, he knew what he was taking.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This really comes down to him. I really think so, man. I would just hate to see, and it's already happened, they're all blocking him. They're terrified he's going to rat him out. They know the police are involved. What does your kid say about it when you talk to him?
He just says that he has big regrets. That's it.
Big regrets that he took it, or big regrets that he got caught? What is the big regrets?
The big regret is that he took it because he never had tried it before. He tried it, his body didn't handle it well, and that's where his big regret is. Like, because I talked to him, too, about it in the morning, and I told him that I had to file the police report.
That's a little different. A 7-year-old.
Decision on taking it is on him. I agree with you. In today's world, you don't want to be, ostracized on social media, and that alone could open up another can of
whole different problem.
So I would just, leave it as is and just thank goodness that all it was a bad hangover.
Martin, I hope we got through to you a little. And like I said, anybody that disagrees, I'd love to hear from you. But honestly, man, it's just weird. Look, marijuana is legal now. It's treated like alcohol. In fact, I'm going to say this. Ask Ant. Ant, get on there real quick. Are you listening to this? I want to know what you would think. Let's say you had a 15-year-old kid. He went to the mall with his buddies. One of his buddies probably snagged some gummies, some edibles from one of their parents. And, this kid got screwed up on this edible, ended up throwing up, going to the hospital. He's fine now. But do you go after the parent? Do you call the cops like this guy did? How aggressive do you get? What do you think?
I'd definitely say you would just go to the parent. Like, going to the police, yeah, that's definitely going to get him ostracized on social media. He's probably going to lose his friend group. And then, like Paul the Waterman said, that could lead to, even
way bigger problems. Martin, I know you're pissed at this, man. That's about it. I don't know what else to, that son of a bitch, he did this, and I can't believe this kid. You know what Martino told me? He goes, man, weren't you 15 at one time? Weren't you 14, 16? And I started thinking, holy moly, my kid's an angel, even after this. Honest to God, I was thinking of back stuff.
He is in violation of the leash.
How?
And he actually, I'm sorry?
How is he in violation? Is it payment or is it something else?
It's not payment. It's not payment. He's always been good about that. I didn't want to lose him as a renter, except that he refuses to abide by the lease, which says no smoking in or around the condo. And I have talked.
Throw your kid. I know he's not trying to throw him under the bus on purpose, but man, that's not a good thing.
But you know what? If you think about it, you go to the mall, the kid is, you panic. I mean, this wasn't something, if I got there.
Well, first of all, you don't know if it's heroin. You don't know what's going on.
So that's why.
Hold on, guys. How long? I'm sorry, yeah.
It's different in retrospect, but at the time, you can understand why this guy panicked and called the police.
Well, I think the hospital probably forced.
All right, hold on.
Yeah.
All right, when you're looking to refi or a new purchase, there is so many different companies to choose from. I'm going to tell you the reason you should choose Ideal Home Loans. First of all, low rates. They've got the lowest rates out there. The second part is what I really like, the interest rate guarantee. You realize if rates go even further down, they're going to refi you for free. Their credit optimization is exactly what it means. Let's say your credit's a 610. You need to get to that 620, 630. They can do a rapid rescore and give them a call, 303-867-7000. Get that high-interest credit card debt paid off finally. IdealHomeLoans.com. 833-ASK-BLAKE. How many times do you hear someone start a commercial with the phone number? 833-ASK-BLAKE? What the heck is that, Mark? I'll tell you what it is. He is Blake Harris, and he's an attorney at law in Colorado, and I love this guy. I have personally used him for a trust a beneficiary's deed, and a will. You need to call this guy up. Maybe you have not looked at your will or it's out of date. Maybe you have a blended family now and you need to redo your will. He can look at your current stuff. He'll ask you some questions and give you a flat rate fee. A flat rate fee of actually updating it to what you want. Maybe you want
Robert with the towed vehicle from last week, and we went to talk to the landlord. Remember Trevor's to do pictures? I need those pictures to send over to the landlord. He's going to tell us if it's his property or not. Remember that call? Robert in the hospital, old guy.
Oh, yeah.
And the red truck.
Yeah.
Trevor texted you or emailed you pictures.
He did? I don't remember that.
Yeah. And I'm just...
What were the pictures of?
The red truck. And remember, Tom was like, oh, well, it's possible the tow truck moved it.
Oh, yeah. No, he texted it to me.
Yeah, so I need those pictures to send to the landlord. Let's see, that would have been like...
Highlands Ranch Ford Virginia, September 18th to the 25th. There's no cost, but space is limited. Register for a 7 personal receiving points retirement plan.
I don't think it would have been, it was early last week.
That's just not one mask anywhere.
See, I thought he would have.
This is Clay Travis. Here's what's trending from
There's
the
his
iHeart
email.
Sports Network.
And then here's his text. Do you remember how you would have got
grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients.
Sue's just the guy who thinks his car was towed to a place where it was towed illegally.
Yeah, the Wyatt's call from last week.
Where he says they picked up my car from a legal spot and put it into an illegal spot, right?
I don't know if it was illegal. I don't think it was anything to do with an illegal spot, Ken.
Oh, no. He said something that Wyatt's picked up his car from a legal spot and moved it to a place where it wasn't supposed to.
That's what he said, yeah.
Right.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Don't forget your free insurance checkup from Compass Insurance Group to make sure that you truly are covered for the right price. If you have a great deal, they'll let you know. If you need, if you need some tweaks, they can get you better coverage at lower prices. They'll let you know. TheInsuranceHelpCenter.com. It's verification or it's a great deal. The free insurance checkup, 303-996-9000. Sharon's got for a 30-day notice.
Oh, to give him 30 days? Oh, of course.
I'm talking about the previous lease. You had to give him 30 days or he had to give you 30 days. Here's why I'm asking. That carries over. Whatever the notice was carries over. So why can't you just give him notice to get out? Does he refuse?
He refuses.
When did you tell him to leave? When did you give him the first notice to leave?
In May. So I let him be there 1 more month, and then he didn't leave. And I talked to him about it, and he said, "You're not going to get rid of me. I'm not going anywhere." Quit at the end of September.
Wait, who told you?
Yeah, but that's almost
Wait a minute. Who told you it had to be a 30-day notice?
A gentleman at the courthouse, Denver courthouse.
What? I've never heard of such a thing. There's a 3-day notice.
Here's what happened.
She doesn't have a court date. She's never got to court yet. So she never even gave him the notice. Sharon, listen. I need to know why you are trying to do this yourself. First of all, why do you want him out of there?
Because he won't stop smoking, and he drove out my renter above.
Okay. Does he pay rent?
Yes.
Okay. You really need to do this with an attorney and get it done the right way. You really do. Because I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I've had rentals for over 30 years, and I've never had one that went this direction. I had the court then set up a 13th of September for a virtual court. Yes.
Which took a half an hour before the judge finally came on. And all she said was, get together with your renter and try to work out stuff. I've been trying to work this out.
See, that's why, you need to get an attorney because they won't there's no working out. You want it back, period.
I know.
So, you're letting them walk all over you, basically. Now, hold on. Just hold on. Suze, would you refer her to Brad O'Brien Legal Services? Now, What happened with the THC gummy, by the way?
Resolved.
It was resolved how?
We just talked about what the options were.
Yeah, the options, right?
Yeah, that's about it. You know what was interesting about that? Do you remember, God, it's been probably 4 or 5 years ago when Miles was a little out of control. It wasn't, he didn't exactly eat a gummy and pass out like that kids did. But I was a little upset, and I was pretty much bitching about him one morning.
When earlier, as far as like when I was a teenager, the pot then wasn't as strong. The pot now is very strong.
It really is. It really is.
I think 100 milligrams is only for people with a prescription, or not a medical whatever.
100 milligrams.
The thing is, you don't.
Go ahead.
You don't know what happens to a person's brain when they're taking the pot now, because there's a chemical change in their brain. So, just letting this kid off,
but
go to the school.
I think that's going too far. I think the kid's going to take too much crap for that. I just do. I think a lot of it, you need to go to your own child and say, hey, hopefully you learned a lesson. Hell, you ended up in the hospital. You can't be taking stuff people just hand you.
Yeah, I mean, he did have to eat it, right?
Yeah.
And damn, though, it wasn't even at school. Anyway, 303-713-TALK. Now, apparently, if it's COVID-related, Sharon, that's the 30-day notice. Only if it's COVID-related, Sharon.
He hasn't had COVID. It has nothing to do with COVID.
I know, but that's what that clerk at the court was telling you when they said it needs to be a 30-day notice. But how do they know? I mean, see, here's the thing. I wonder if he extended it a 30-day notice for everyone. Who knows? Listen, Sharon, use Brad O'Brien Legal Services. We have more coming up.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Michael Brown in the morning and Dan Kaplis in the afternoon. 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
From the DuckDuckGo Traffic Center.
This report is to check in before your flight. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, mostly cloudy today with a high near 70. Clear skies tonight and a low at 50. And then sunshine, but cooler tomorrow. Our high down about 68 degrees. Warming up again Wednesday through Friday with sunshine and 84 for the high. Right now it's 65. With your Impact Traffic and weather, I'm Dustin Ritchie, 630 KHOW.
Try great tasting Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients to support immune health. Those who tried Ensure Max Protein reported feeling more energy in just 2 weeks. For more information, including consumer survey details, please visit Ensure.com.
I love when a website gives a great description of the product or service they do. Check this one out. WeBuyUglyHouses.com. It is exactly what you think. It's the guys at WeBuyUglyHouses.com. Maybe you are a hoarder. Maybe someone just passed away in your family that was a hoarder. Maybe you inherited a property that needs so much work you don't even want to dive into it. These guys will give you a cash offer and can generally pay you within 72 hours for your house. And you don't have to fix it up. And you know what? There's no problem. Do some math. How much is it going to cost to fix up? Talk to a realtor. How much can I get for it? And then also just get a bid from these guys. These guys buy it as is. 1-800-44-BUYER, 800-44-BUYER, or WeBuyUglyHouses.com. Now, check out this special. It is absolutely unbelievable, and it's going to be going away soon. In fact, most companies sell an air conditioner unit for this price. But with the guys at 888heating.com, not only do you get a new air conditioner, you get a new furnace, you get a whole home humidifier. 888heating.com. That's 888heating.com.
Meet Brian Bridges. He's the owner of a tattoo shop in Denver.
I left way before that. I didn't realize what's happening. Nothing. I just thought that was you would wait. Would have been back on the air already. Oh my God, you were gone. You've been gone for maybe 2 minutes. Oh.
I'm helping out Frank Duran, the real estate man.
Oh, cool. What are you doing for him?
Got a customer who needs a bacterial test.
Larry Walker.
Well, I haven't heard that name for a long time. Who? Larry Walker.
He's being inducted into the Hall of Fame. They're having some ceremony for him at Coors Field.
Coolness, man.
When you live in Colorado, it's not if, but when your roof is going to get hit with hail or damaging high winds. But don't worry, we have Golden Spike Roofing. Call for a free roof inspection and know this.
You ever stayed at the Warwick?
There is no one better than Golden Spike Roofing to help you out. No. Call 303-942-1386.
In New York? No, right here.
Find them online at goldenspikeroofing.com.
No, but I didn't. I think there's a Warwick in New York. There probably is because they had multiple locations.
If so, I'm here to tell you it's not too late. I am Wesley Hogan with Westland Financial. Although the lowest rates mean home improvements you put on hold for so long, best of all, we can do this with no closing costs. That's right. Whether it's a conventional, FHA, or VA loan, we'll pay for your title, settlement, lender, and reporting fees. So call Westland at 888-455.
I guess the Emmys, let me see here. I guess they were supposed to be wearing masks and they weren't or something? I don't know.
Oh, the Emmys. It was
Is that a deal?
You should see it. It was really
Did anybody even watch that? Does anybody watch that anymore?
I don't either watch it, but I ain't.
Holiday shoppers, wherever they go. Use iHeart Ad Builder to create an affordable custom radio ad right on your phone.
Board show.
Click, listen, approve. Hit hear on radio. Create your customized ad today at iHeartAdBuilder.com. Hey, it's Marty Lenz, and if you're thinking of selling your home, I know you have a lot.
Would somebody tell me who Marty Lenz is and why do I care? I don't understand. Hi, I'm Marty Lenz. This guy doing this ad.
Is he a radio personality? He's a radio personality. Is he in KOA?
Marty Lenz. Oh, is he? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
shit.
They're not reporting it because now you just got in trouble.
Oh, it might be Marty Lenz. I'm sorry. I might have been.
Did you Google him?
No.
I'll Google. How do you spell his last name?
I Googled him.
He's on KOA. Isn't he on KOA?
Yeah, right there. Marty Lenz joins KOA Morning Code.
Oh, I shouldn't have talked like that then. He's a big guy.
He's not a big guy. I don't listen to him.
No, he's a good guy, though, I'm sure. I just didn't know what his first name was.
So is Russ and everybody happy with the new arrangement with Mike being the 6 to 10?
Ross loves him. He's wanted that spot forever. Just switch it real quick. See what it
Wow,
does.
Dow is down 900.
What? Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-71.
Now, what do you mean cold air ducting? The return air? What's weird is you already have the heat duct, but you don't have the cold air return. Why? Huh, so what's in there now? And where does the furnace get its return air? Okay. Yeah, that's how they used to do it with old houses. Maybe it was never in there, unless, I'm assuming. Is it an old house? How old? What size is it? Yeah. I'm going to tell you something. You're gonna vary in price from about $8,500 to $18,000 from all good people. Yep. And they'll all have their reason. So you're going to have to do that on your own as far as shopping. But I'll tell you, I had Fix-It 24/7 do a furnace for me. I love them. I've had Plumbline do work for me. We have Brothers on the referral list. We have 888 Heating. We have
Applewood,
Master Rooter. We have Applewood. We have a number of people. And I'm telling you, without telling you, I'm just saying, even among a group of to have an enormous swing in pricing. Okay? And therefore, you have to shop even though you use the referral list. Now, I want to know something. You don't sound with a 1930s house like you want to go whole hog, right?
What do you mean whole hog?
Well, you don't want to. You don't. I mean, you're not going to go high efficiency on an old house.
Oh no.
You want an 80% efficient furnace, right?
Right.
And what would your price range be on a system? You can tell me because I'm not going to sell it to you.
Well, I'm talking about with the ducting and the furnace. Oh, I'm talking about maybe I can go maybe as high as 6,500.
Okay, your low end for ducting and a furnace is going to be about not 10. Mark, would you say about 10 grand? The low end? What do you think? Truly. Now listen. This. Oh wait. Well, hold on a sec. This is not furnace and air. This is just furnace.
Well, I need furnace and I need the return air ducting.
I know, but you don't need air conditioning.
No air conditioning.
Okay, so you might be able to get that done for about 9 grand on the low end. Mark, what do you think?
I think a little lower on the low end. How many square feet did he say it was?
900.
It's really small. Never mind. That's really small. You could probably get down to about 8,000.
The other thing you might look at, man, is some of these mini-split systems. It might be about the same price, and they're way more efficient, and you'll have air conditioning.
Especially for that size. In fact, that might be the... In fact, that is the answer, because the mini-split, they're not going to touch your existing system. They're just going to put it in the side of the wall with a 900 square foot house.
And you're going to have AC, man, and it's so much more efficient. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's called a mini-split.
Mini-split. Okay.
Yeah.
Mitsubishi makes one. There's a bunch of companies.
I think it's more logical to do that than to put ducting in that house. That's going to be...
Well, only 900 square feet. Hell, I mean, he might need just 2 heads in the whole house, and you'll be fine,
I think 1 head in that house
probably.
Just 1 head would do that, I think. You know, and I don't know if you get that for around 6,500, but you'll be close.
And you'll have the AC.
Yeah.
What do you mean with 1 head? I don't...
Meaning where the air comes out.
Oh, okay.
Because... You don't. How many rooms do you have?
Oh, let's see. 1, 2. Living room, dining room.
But are the living room and dining room separate rooms, or are they an area?
They're combined. Yeah.
Okay, that's like 1 room area.
Right.
Well, how many partitions? You know, different rooms.
Like a bedroom.
Okay, I have 2 bedrooms and a kitchen.
Okay. And the kitchen, dining, okay, kitchen.
Right.
Okay, then the dining and living room. Okay, yeah, somebody will give you an analysis of that pretty quickly.
Just get a quote on both, though, man. Get a quote on a mini-split, too.
Yeah, I think that's what you're going to want. Do you have a computer, Scott? Do you have a computer?
Yes, I do.
Go to referralist.com, plug in HVAC, and start calling and asking.
They pretty much all sell mini splits too.
Yeah. Referralist.com. 303-713-TALK is our number. And it's really important that you do shopping around, because prices do vary a tremendous amount. I mean, they do. And they how do I put this? They not just vary, but they're all good in their own way. All right, Paul the Waterman, I do have a question here that didn't just come up, but it was here. Let me see. Where the heck is it? Doggone it. I had it here. No, I'll have to wait. Somebody wanted to know also about, as far as the filtration systems, what maintenance is involved, like reverse osmosis.
So with reverse osmosis, once a year you should change your pre and post filters for sure, and then do a membrane check to make sure it's functioning at the highest quality that you need. If you have a water softener with reverse osmosis, most cases those filters should last you, close to 3 years, because it's just drinking water, right?
Okay.
So,
and then another one. How good are the fridge water filters for ice and water, like the ones in your refrigerator?
A lot of them are submicron.
Meaning what?
Well, yeah, they're 0.5, which is good. Submicron, micron technology and infiltrations, which you want to pay attention to. But hard water will beat them up, and it'll shorten their lifespan. If you guys have gone to a friend's house and you've seen a bunch of hard water buildup on the water dispenser, ice dispenser in the refrigerator, that's exactly what happens.
So, do you need those filters when you get the whole house system that you have?
Well, if you have a water softener, those filters will work as they're designed to. In my opinion, carbon filters are the most overused filter in the market today. They're not designed to be main treatment. They're designed to be an after post treatment. So if you support a carbon filter with water filtration, then you're absolutely going to get what it's designed to do.
But it's not meant to be a primary filter.
No, not at all.
And too many people use it that way.
Question for you.
All right, when we come back, we got another question.
Now, Impact Traffic.
From the DuckDuckGo Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Westera Credit Union.
I-25 is all clear now, both directions through Denver. We've got some slowing westbound I-70 for road work between Pena and I-225, and a crash westbound I-70 at York. We're crowded from Northfield, Quebec. Look out for that rollover with parties trapped on Mississippi at Valentia, just east of Leedsdale. We have construction crowding northbound Spear, Bannock to Colfax. Pena's pretty close to the speed limit out around DIA, but long lines through TSA. Give yourself 2 hours to check in before your flight. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, cloudy today, a high near 70. Clear skies tonight at 50, then sunshine but cooler tomorrow, a high near 68 degrees. Right now it's 65 with your Impact Traffic and Weather. I'm Dustin Ritchie, 630 KHOW.
Westera Credit Union. Selected as one of the 5 best in-state credit unions in Colorado by Forbes 2 years in a row. More info at westeracu.com. That's westeracu.com.
Get Found Fast is a company that helps your website get found fast. Their promise is to go through that website with a free website analysis to let you know how it's performing and then make suggestions or give you do-it-yourself tips. It's all for the asking, no charge. They want to show you what they know. GetFoundFast.com. Genesis Total Exteriors for basements, kitchens, baths, roofing, siding, windows, doors, fencing, decks, painting. They're all around a home improvement company. And now he also has Genesis Solar, CO.com. So if you're looking for solar, consider Genesis. Yep, Genesis gives you a 25-year warranty on parts and 25-year warranty on performance. They write you checks yearly if they don't meet savings. And get this, Genesis will also give you a 20-minute site evaluation to see if you're a good candidate for solar free of charge. And they don't even have to be on site. They can do it by satellite. 303. That's Genesis Solar, CO.com. 303-474-4317.
Greenberry. There's health goals, then there's Greenberry's bowl goals. I eat a bowl of Greenberry bran flakes every morning because my bowl goal is because
What happens is that the hardness goes inside that filter housing and actually breaks down the carbon. So people that use whole house, big boxes sell carbon filters all the time for whole house, then that'll start the water pressure because that's exactly what's happening. Carbon coats, has a hardness. It's like an M&M's peanut M&M, right? The candy shell, right? That's what hard water does on the filter. And then water and stuff being absorbed bounces off.
Trickles through, and now you got everything going slow and no filtration.
Whatever your health goals are, find it in a bowl of Greenberry cereal. Pick up a box today.
This is the true test, this market.
This is going to be the best thing that's ever happened to us, just on Trump orders. I'm telling you, if karma's real, the Democrats, in my opinion now, the Democrats have so much bad karma piling up that it's just going to
It's time to stop. They're getting braided, man.
Yeah, well, hold on. What's the latest?
Well, today, what did we drop? About 1,000.
Oh, I see. Yeah, there is a lot going on, but you know what?
Did you see the pictures at the border that look like the Grateful Dead down there?
You know what's funny is the government's more, I'm saying the government seems more friendly now, but the results are worse. And before the government seemed more, Trump was more better, but everything seemed everything was running pretty smoothly. It really was running smoothly.
We don't have 1,000 murders.
If he just kept his mouth shut, we would have been fine.
He would have never been president then, though.
Pardon me, I've resurrected the dead here a little bit. So I have Ron on with the red truck and his landlord Dallas. Okay? So you guys want to powwow with those guys.
That was a good one.
All right, Becky.
Don't call Sue Becky.
Becky.
Nah.
Wait, Becky is, hold on, we went through that already. Becky, and the other one is Karen. And
Karen knows everything. Karen knows what's good for you.
Karen's clueless, I thought.
No,
you mean
Becky's clueless. Becky's clueless and Karen attacks minority.
Right, Karen's the one who is socially...
Really?
Yeah. Karen's the one who calls up,
Karen
the cops
calls the
at a
cops.
black guy who's just walking down the street with his dog.
Karen calls the cops.
Right.
Karen comes to your house and knocks on your door and starts shaking her finger in your fucking face.
Karen's got balls.
I don't live in your street. Holy cow.
It's a mess.
Is that what Karen means?
That's what Karen is.
It's an overly sensitive, middle-aged white female.
Karen calls the cops.
Karen calls you cops.
Look, the van there at the Launder home. Laundry.
Oh, so in the 911 tape,
yeah.
Why they didn't arrest that dude is unbelievable.
What did they say?
So you saw the video, right?
What did she say?
The call that came in from the owner of the store said, hey, right out front, there's a guy slapping the shit out of this woman. Oh, wait, now he's chasing her down and hitting her.
Oh, come on.
And then the cops show up. They didn't fucking do anything, remember?
Those assholes.
There had to be miscommunication.
Oh. That girl was so sweet.
Maybe the 911
Does that
operator.
break your heart?
It killed you. Yeah, it killed you. I got home from the home show and told my wife what happened. She started breaking down in tears. I mean, it's horrible. Can you imagine being the guy's dad? I mean, no way.
I'd find him and kick his ass my damn self.
Oh, man, I'm putting my granddaughter in a plastic bubble. That's just...
I'm telling you, those parents might end up in the fucking pokey, man.
Yeah.
You can't...
Laundry's parents?
Laundry's parents, yeah.
Yeah, they're...
Accessory after the fact.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Folks, we have a lot to talk about, and one of the things we do also is try to follow up on stories. Now, you may have heard Ron call about his truck, and listen, I think anything is possible when it comes to tow trucks, but he had a truck towed. I believe that here's the bottom line. He said he was parked in a parking lot, okay? And he said his truck was towed. And he said it was on private property. And what happened was he was in the hospital, but somehow it got towed from that private property, and his landlord never called Wyatt's Towing to do it. So why was his red pickup truck towed from his landlord's lot? Now, Ron said he was pulled in front of some cars, but one car was incapacitated, and the other car was his own. So he wasn't blocking anyone in. He was on his landlord's property. He wasn't bothering anyone, and Wyatt's comes along and tows him. Then we call Wyatt's, and they say, we did not. We towed him from somebody's parking space.
Who called us?
And they called Wyatt's. So he said, we get a call to come tow him. And they took a picture of the truck in that parking space, but it was when it was already hooked up to the tow truck. They should have taken a picture of it parked there on its own before hooking it up, because that left Ron able to say, well, they hooked it up on my landlord's lot and then pulled it into that spot to take a picture.
Yeah.
Now, the way that picture is taken, it does incriminate them a little. It's at a diagonal hooked up to a tow truck. Why didn't they take a picture of it just parked there? I don't know. So, Ron, he's upset about this. Ron, I know you're upset about this, but I'm going to talk to your landlord now, okay?
Okay, good enough.
Dallas, are you there, Dallas?
Yes, I am.
Do you recall that night it was towed where his truck was parked?
You know, I wasn't there that night. I was there during the day.
During the day, did you see his truck during the day?
His truck, I can testify that his truck was not on your lot, because I know that Ron and Bev have some issues with them parking on our side. So there's kind of a little thing going there because there's a fence there, and if Ron was parked there, I would have taken a mental note. You know.
Well, did you see? Wait, did you see the red pickup truck parked in your lot?
I see the red pickup truck was parked in my lot.
His red pickup truck was parked in your lot earlier that day.
That's what I recall. I mean, it's been like.
And then he was not. And so, what made it move, Mark? What made it move?
He just said he wasn't there that night. He's talking about during the day.
But Ron
the guy was having like a heart attack or stroke.
No,
who knows
Ron
where the hell he parked?
Dallas, was Ron in the hospital at that time?
I didn't know it, but he was.
Yeah, so he couldn't have moved his truck. Somebody moved his truck. Maybe it was Wyatt's. Hold on. Why do I want you to know about Colorado Pain?
Now the plot thickens. This guy's in the hospital.
and spookier.
He was in the hospital. He couldn't have moved his own truck.
Holy shit, gas and no, I can't be that much. What? Gas in California.
How much?
$4.50 a gallon?
Yep. Depending on where you're at, could be even worse than that.
It was four and change. Mendocino?
Yeah, Mendocino's going to be real expensive.
$6.75 a gallon, highest in the nation.
Wine country. And folks don't need to be going no place anyway. They're all drunk.
$6.75 a gallon. That's remarkable.
What's the oil at today?
Who?
Oil. What's the price of a barrel of oil?
Oh, I don't know.
Available everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one.
ABC News, I'm Alex Perez. Reaction overseas after the Biden administration announced today that starting in early November, fully vaccinated international travelers, including from the EU and the UK, will again be able to travel to the U.S. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson says his country's high vaccination rate is a fact.
It's the high level of vaccinations.
High level?
It's because if you're there, you're going to talk like this.
High level? It ain't the heavy load that makes the horses use it. It's the blooming pounding on the auto highway.
That's right. That's right.
You watch too much Acorn TV.
No, man. I don't know where I got that from.
I'm telling you.
Did you say blooming onion?
No, blooming highway.
I love my blooming onion.
I went out back last night.
Yeah.
They have cut down their menu, and it sucks. It's probably 1/3 of what they used to order, and the food was terrible.
Well, they can't get anything.
Almost everybody. We went to a hamburger place we used to like, and it fucking sucked, man.
You can't get anything.
But no, the preparation of the food itself. My friend had I had a burger. My friend had roast beef. Both were terrible.
Yeah, there's no.
Mine was overcooked. His was medium well. It was raw, literally raw.
Another HVAC place in Colorado Springs is does Smith think, or does he assume?
Yeah, definitely.
He's the only one.
Everybody up there is that way. It doesn't matter who it is. Same with what's his face.
That Patriot's gone.
He's just on the referral list. Okay. The what's the other one? Ramsey. Ramsey only does one per category up there. Everybody. I mean, it's just like
fastest time. I mean, it flies.
I mean,
It's almost gone. It's just amazing. Fastest 4 hours in radio. You should use that on some trucks.
Now, what about this? What would Simply do if Carpet Mill, because Carpet Mill called, do you think that, I know we've had two before with him, but here's the problem. The problem is, Buddy Truman is the smartest in the business.
I don't know the reaction. It's all going to come down to, he tracks better than almost anybody I know, so it's all going to come down. If nothing changes, then he's not going to care. I mean, he's a businessman. Know what I mean?
There are certain categories we can't do that, like with him. It's too small of a category and too specialized. There are some you can do it in roofing, for example. I mean, God, it's so big and vast.
In Denver.
Yeah. You're
look,
exclusive.
Hit, slapped.
Look at that piece of shit. I'm sorry, man. I shouldn't do that.
Okay.
He's innocent.
Okay. What do you think here? Honest to God. Do they catch him, or does he kill himself?
He kills himself.
I'd go kills.
I
think he's starting to see there's no fucking out.
Yeah, he killed himself. He's gone.
And it looks like he drug his parents into this fucking mess. They might be the only ones doing the jail time.
How the fuck do you kill someone? I mean,
you got to be a dark son of a bitch to kill somebody.
To kill a girl.
I know, that's beautiful.
And then kill. Okay, how do you kill anybody? I mean, I guess. Okay, I guess at the heat of battle and craziness, maybe people are too. They don't maybe intend.
I think if someone took your kid,
well, that's different. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about cold.
If someone lied to you,
I'm not talking about.
If somebody lied to you, right? And you got to the point where you were living an illusion.
I couldn't even hurt.
I had thoughts on Pappas. So
yeah.
I could shoot somebody. I don't know if I could stab him, but I could shoot somebody with a gun.
Yeah, you was twisted on Pappas for a while.
If they were threatening my life, we're not talking about that.
But that's different.
No, but if they ruined your life or what you perceived as they ruined your life at the time.
Left you destitute, took everything you had.
Yeah.
But I could kill him with a gun, not with a knife. That would be hard to do.
In your hiring process,
it'd be too fucking messy.
Right? To hire
just
what they
shoot
need. Their hiring platform makes it easy to attract,
why do people think they're going to get
and
away
interview
with it?
candidates, all in the same place.
Well,
Find your next
I don't think the guy said I'm gonna fucking kill her. I think he pushed her, tricked her. He did something. I don't think he intentionally killed her.
Oh, you think he might have hit her? She might have hit her head on the rock or something.
After he pushed her, I think he's 100%. I don't think he
intended to kill her.
I don't think so.
I think that's why he ran. He got so scared he's gone.
Because it was a real messy deal.
He would have. If this was premeditated, he would have buried the body. He left it right there.
Yeah.
You know,
he might have sent that one text.
Early detection and treatment of cancer.
But the fact, I think he's going to off himself.
I don't.
But if you ever do hear,
I think he's too much of a coward.
I think if they started really getting close to him, he'd off himself. I'm not saying he's going to go kill himself without the cops on him, but I think this guy, I think he knows if he goes to jail, he's fucked, man.
About 10 seconds. Well, this shouldn't come as a shocker, but it really is. In the new tax hikes that Democrats are trying to push through, they contain subsidies for journalists. So the government's going to pay journalists? Let's talk about that on Tuesday.
Are going to what journalists?
Pay them for what? That's kind of getting real deep. It's all just messy out. There's nobody that needs to be any kind of reference. Okay, what's that picture on?
upside down right now.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
We don't have anymore.
Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Welcome to the show. Listen, reverse loans have become a useful tool in some seniors' lives, 62 and older, with equity. Silverleaf Mortgage is one of the lenders I recommend. Silverleafmortgage.com. Silverleaf also has a nonprofit foundation associated with it to help you fix up your house, to get it ready for the appraisal for no interest, low interest, or a grant, depending on your need. 720-REVERSE. Look into reverse loans at 720-REVERSE. Now, let's talk about this, okay? Really, sensibly. Ron's in the hospital, but he left his car parked where he lived, at his landlord's place where he lives, in the lot. It was towed from that lot. Ron's landlord said, I'll testify that that morning, that truck was in that lot.
Okay, but when this guy called up, what's his name, Ron?
But hold on now. So if he was in the hospital at the time, he couldn't have moved it.
You're missing a huge part.
What's that?
When Ron called up, he said he parked and blocked 2 cars.
Right.
So he was parked diagonally, not in a spot. So who cares where his landlord saw him? It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
Excuse me, Mark. He was in the landlord's lot.
Parked behind 2 cars.
But the cars he was parked behind, one was his own, and the other one had been incapacitated for 6 months.
That's right. So who cares if the landlord saw it in a spot somewhere? That's not what we're talking about.
He didn't see it in the spot. He just said he saw it in the lot.
Ask the landlord where he saw it.
He said in the lot. He didn't say the spot.
Was it blocking 2 cars?
My understanding is the landlord could solve all this mystery.
Dallas,
that's why I called him.
Dallas.
Yes, I'm here.
Was it parked in the lot in a specific spot, or was it where was it parked? I believe he answered this already. Go ahead, Dallas. Where was it?
Well, as I recall, okay.
Yes.
Because I'm kind of big on this. When I left, I'm there every day. And I know Ron very well, and Bev. When I left, and the way I leave out, I go south on Sheridan. If Ron's red truck was parked next door, I would have seen that. I would have made a mental note, because Ron and Bev always have kind of an issue with those people parking on our property. So I can verify Ron was not parked where the picture shows. I can verify that. I'll testify that anywhere.
But you don't know. But you don't know exactly where it was parked on your property.
I do recall Ron parking that way, but like I said, it was many days ago.
Okay.
And I can't say that day, but I do. Ron does park that way. Ron's an elderly man, and he gets out and he'll walk into Bev's. He takes care of her birds and her pets. He does that every day.
All right.
So he would not park all the way over there and walk back. He would park behind, because the other vehicle is his, and the one that hasn't run is Bev's, his girlfriend.
So the picture they took being hooked to the tow truck, it looks like, according to Ron, that they backed into that spot and showed his truck parked there, so they had justification to take it. But I think that's a lot of work to go through. Why would someone hook a truck, then drive it and back it into a spot to make it look like it was parked illegally? It doesn't make sense to me.
Just to randomly grab the truck, too, is what makes no sense.
Right. Like, why would they randomly take his truck and not, I don't know. What do you think, Ron?
I think that those guys are idiots. I'll be honest with you, plain and simple.
Yeah, but are they crooks, though? I don't think they just want to steal.
They are bigger crooks, and I will tell you, when you talk to them, I would like to have you tell them that either they apologize to Dallas, and they apologize to
they're not admitting they did anything wrong. They have a photograph showing your truck parked. You know what? We need to find the person that called Wyatt's. That would be the end. If a person said
right now, no one called Wyatt's. Wyatt's called themselves.
Yeah, so I know, but Wyatt claims somebody called them.
Why? It makes no sense.
No, Wyatt's claims somebody called them. So that person who called Wyatt's called them because they saw a red truck parked in their spot. Therefore, Ron, if we can find that spot, they're going to say you're a liar. Your truck was parked in someone else's spot.
His allegation. His allegation is he was parked at a place where Wyatt's doesn't even go.
Right.
And Wyatt's just pulled up for no damn reason.
At random.
Just total random, grabbed his car, dragged it over to the place next door that they do patrol, backed it in, and then took a picture, and then took it. Just total random crap.
That is exactly what he is saying.
He's crazy.
Now, Dallas, that sounds unreasonable, but Dallas says it wasn't parked in that spot during the day, Mark. He was there.
When you got sick and ended up in the hospital, you said you left your car behind or in front of or blocking two cars.
Do you remember
Were the keys in it?
Yes, they were.
Well, then anybody could have moved his vehicle over to there.
No one could have moved it because no one knows how to start it.
It's a Scooby-Doo mystery.
Hold on. Now, no. Now I'm hearing everything. He had his keys in it. Now
I bet Wyatt knew that maybe his keys were in it, and they hopped in it, and then they just drove it over to the other place.
They would have never done it.
Of course not. It's insane.
No, now, if the keys were in it, and somebody goes to tow it, Wyatt's would have never backed it into the spot because all they had to do was drive it over there. So then that negates that scenario. I mean, if the keys are in it, let's just move it over there. I mean, I don't.
Or anybody could have moved it over there.
He says no one knows how to start it. So what is the secret of starting your truck, Ron?
That is my secret. I'll be honest with you.
All right, now I'm going.
You got to turn the key in the ignition, Tom.
Now I think I'm going into. This is maybe Alice in Wonderland now. Maybe this is what's happening to me, and I thought maybe we had something important going on here. Smarty Marty has 2 updates. Smarty Marty, what kind of updates are we working on? I have a number of them under your name here.
I know.
Which one, sir?
Well, we have 2 of them. One is, they're both from last week.
Okay, let's talk about them. What do you got?
David Haynes versus Academy Bank. David alleged that the bank, he lost earnest money because of the bank.
Yeah, and basically, did they? Now I understand you did some back and forth, and go ahead, why don't you go ahead and describe it? Then we'll talk about it.
So basically, the back and forth is each of them are calling each other liars. So the bank.
Do they deny? One thing I do want to know: do they deny at all telling him he was ready to close and then saying he could not close? Do they recall that part?
They don't deny that. They found some extra information that they felt.
Wait a minute. Did they feel he withheld?
They felt he gave wrong information.
Well, if that's the case, then it would be on him.
Yeah, well, they used the word fraud. The bank.
Oh, so they thought he was committing fraud. Okay, I get it, because then that's why they wouldn't close, and they say, we don't care if you lost your earnest money, you were committing fraud. But then why did they make him an offer?
I think they just did it to end the case, to go back and forth, because I guess they may have a little bit of liability. I'm not sure on that one.
So what is the situation right now?
The situation right now is David has an attorney. They did make an offer of $10,000, and that's still on the table, and that's where it lies right now. So,
okay.
It's between them two, but they're going back and forth to me of each one's a liar. I said, this is why we have a legal system.
Smarty, if you could just hang on a sec, because I have to take a break, and I want to get this one comment quickly here
from Danny on Wyatt's. Go ahead. Danny, go ahead.
Hey there. Yeah, I was an apartment maintenance
I'm sorry, Danny. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I've been an apartment maintenance supervisor for like 8 years, dealing with Wyatt specifically. They are the shadiest company I've ever experienced. I would not put it past them in a heartbeat that they towed it across the street to take a picture.
Really? Now, have you ever seen anything like that, though, Danny?
After I canceled their contract and had a totally different company, they were still coming around, creeping, looking for expired registrations and just reasons that they could take it.
All right, Danny, thank you for your call. We got more coming up.
Meet Patrick.
Okay, I'm going to do
Business was normal.
I'm going to do
K&H called it the best specialty coffee in the country. It was time to scale up. So he turned to his American Express Blue Business Cash Card, which lets him earn 2% cash back on his business purchases for the first 50,000 spent and 1% after that.
$6.75 for gas in this town in California.
From a fictional business. Why? Cashback cap apply. Learn more at AmericanExpress.com/Blue Business Cash. Don't do business without it.
Oh, the home show's over, isn't it? Yes. K&H Home Solutions, one of the oldest
home improvement companies in all of Colorado. And I've known K&H from 40 years ago. Yep. When I was there, Henry Seligman, the original owner, was handing it over to Ted, who is now still in charge at K&H. Talk about consistency. They worked on my house 40 years ago, and they still do work for me. And the warranties are always honored. 303-421-7100. 65 years strong. Now listen to this one. They have Soft Light windows, which are the Energy Star Award winner 7 years straight, and Everlast Siding, the best siding in the business. And this month you get 30% off. That's 303-421-7100, khwindows.com. Make your own appointment.
All right, getfoundfast.com. Once again, here's another company that actually has a website that describes exactly what they do. They help you. If you have a company or a store and you are on the internet, they help your website get found fast. Here's all you got to do. I want you to take advantage of something they do. They do a free webinar. It only takes about a half hour. You basically will pull up your website. They're going to show you your Google panel. They're going to show you the keywords that are driving people to you. They're going to show you the competition and why they're getting more traffic if they are than you. They're going to show you all the inside data and then help you make a decision. GetFoundFast.com. GetFoundFast.com.
When you live in Colorado, it's not if, but when your roof is going to get hit with hail or damaging high winds.
303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome to the only show of its kind. Paul the Waterman, really quickly here. What is the best combination in a hunting cabin? What would you do? Somebody wants to know.
I do a ceramic with KDF.
What does that mean, sir?
Ceramic filtration is what you want to use for grabbing bacteria. KDF is a bacteria-proof filter media, meaning it won't grow or live. And so what that does is just for drinking water, that's the combination I would use.
Okay, for drinking water. Now, you have portable units for condos, too, now.
Right. So what we have is it's a one cartridge. It's kind of like having a Brita pitcher for the whole entire home. And then we also have smaller units, water that would fit in tight spaces for like condominiums or townhomes.
And what do they run?
$16.95 installed.
Wow, fully installed. Okay, let's talk to Smarty about his other follow-up. Okay, Smarty Pants, what else do you have, sir?
So we have a case of a gentleman named Morgan who paid $5,000 in full for a car lift.
Yes, and he said he never got it.
He never got it. So, I have a different area code in Colorado when I make my calls. So Morgan, I got lucky. The owner answered my phone. Morgan said he would never answer it, but it's because I probably have a different area code. So he answered, and we spoke, and I swear I was talking to Terry Thon. Remember Terry Thon?
Yes. So it just sounded a little...
He gave me the sob story, and he told me how nice Morgan is, and he's a great guy, and COVID hit, and my father died, and this and that, and this and that. And he said he's working on it right now, he says to me. I'm working on Morgan's right now. I said, right now? That means you could tell Morgan when it's going to be ready. And he says, oh, no, I subcontract out, and they all tell me this. And he's giving me the story after story after story. So I even invited him on the show, and, of course, he declined. He's too busy. And that's the end of it. I don't know if he's getting the lift or not.
So do you think the guy sounded like a scammer, though, basically?
Yes.
Then we should, maybe this goes to the Sleaze Brigade.
Well, I gave Suzanne the phone number last week.
So did you tell him to call if he did not get the lift?
I left it up right now. I didn't tell him to call.
Okay.
Yet, but I think he should.
Yeah, I'd like to know if the guy comes through or not, because we need to warn other people about him.
Again, the phone number I left with Suzanne, I don't have it in front of me.
No, we'll call him. Thank you. Smarty Marty, always on the job. Yvonne, this is an odd one. You're looking for music, but not odd, but different. Not the bands you see every day. You're looking for a mariachi band?
I'm looking for a mariachi band that will charge about $150 an hour. Otherwise, I need one individual. It could be a male or a female that can play a mariachi guitar that can sing mariachi music. Just one person, and I can pay them $250 for an hour of their time.
Okay, and what is this for?
For my parents' 50th anniversary. So.
What a wonderful idea. For their 50th wedding anniversary, a mariachi. Okay, let's put the word out. And we're going to get Yvonne's number, and we're going to get back to her. If you guys can help us find either a mariachi band or someone who plays mariachi guitar, and we'll do it. And she's got around $250 in her budget here for the 50th anniversary. When was the last time you saw a mariachi band? Mine was at Casa Bonita, but maybe no. There was one on South Broadway in a Mexican restaurant. On Sunday they did it. On Sundays.
There's another place called Tecalina on Hamden that has mariachi bands.
You might want to call it's Tecalina?
Yeah.
On Broadway, Yvonne, on Hamden, I'm sorry. Have you called any of the restaurants that had mariachis to see if you could get one of those to do it?
Well, I don't know which
Okay.
would have mariachi.
Okay, well, he just talked about one. And do they... Tequilina? What? How do you spell it? Hold on Hamden. It's
Can Sue include that in an email to me because I'm driving?
All right, hold on. I'll tell you what. Suze, get her number. We'll text her this. Okay, Deputy Doc will text her. Okay, 303-713-TALKS, 713-8255. I'm not overtime, right? Daniel, what's going on with you, Daniel? How can we help you, man?
Good day, sir. I spoke to you on Friday.
Yes.
I was having some issues with my apartment, cleaning, and all this other stuff.
Yeah, and you sounded a bit depressed, like it was, like you were asking too many things about suicide.
Well, it was kind of heavy stuff, Tom. I'm just tripping, man.
So what's happening since then?
I'm trying to decide and not make a rash move strictly right off the bat. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You could assist me by. I'm considering, instead of having to pull out and just run around here and get all these little balls in the air juggling at the same time, I'm trying to look at a decent apartment. No problem with the cash flow. Where would I start on something like that? I'd rather move there. I looked into the place where I was going to move to, and I thought, well, it's a little bit Hooterville for me, man.
I'm not sure what Hooterville means, but...
Well, kind of Hicksville type situation.
Okay.
Illinois.
Daniel, listen, I want to ask you something. You're looking for an apartment here in the metro area, right?
Correct.
Okay.
On the show today.
How much can you pay a month?
Well, I could pay whatever, $1,500.
Okay. Now, will you get a good... do they check references, Mark, with
Bruce,
landlords?
I think I got a voicemail from you, sir, didn't I?
That's what's kind of concerning me, man.
Did you get my
they came in here, I mentioned before, and it was a little untidy, and they took pictures, and apparently it was a notice to vacate. It wasn't a... Well, will they tell you?
See, if they filed an eviction, you're going to have a hell of a time trying to find another place. Do you know if they actually filed an eviction?
Well, the word never came up, per se.
You ought to talk to them, Daniel, like I told you before, and say, listen.
No, I did speak to them.
What did you say? What did you say?
I asked them, what can I do to get another couple of months,
and what did they say? What did they say?
They said no.
Oh, really?
Correct.
When did they want you out of there?
1st of November.
Okay, so you got some time now. So you have all of October and this month. So you need to just find a place. You need
how do I start this thing, Tom? The idea is this. I know if I am, would they have told me straight up if I was being evicted or not? They asked me to leave.
Well, no, you would be served. You would know you're going through an eviction.
I see.
Did you get a 3-day a 3-day notice or any kind of notice to leave?
No.
They just told you.
Correct.
You got nothing in writing.
Nothing at all. I got a notice. Tom, briefly. They came up here to do some maintenance. There was a water leak, and then apparently the maintenance manager, like I mentioned, came in here and he took pictures. Right?
I get it, man, but I don't think you have an eviction on your record.
That's my idea, man. I want to either bust a move now before...
You should. I think what you're saying is right. That's what you should do. You should start looking for a place right now. You want to know how to start looking for a place?
Correct.
That's a good question. Hold on. I'm sure people will have suggestions. Hold on. And then I also need to talk to Bruce with a leased car after his dad passed away. We'll talk about that. Very important coming up.
All you have to do is go on the I just did the same thing. I went on the you go to Zillow or Thomas.com. I'll tell them. That's how I found my place. And they didn't check references. Well, maybe because I owned the place.
Did you put down, your name, MD?
No.
You didn't?
Oh, maybe I did.
No, but if you gave your social, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they ran a check on you.
I told them that I gave them the address that I just sold. And I just sold my house.
You know this guy's place is a fucking rat's nest.
It's not.
You think so?
Well, he sounds better today than he did the other day.
You know,
Yeah, he turned away everybody we had calling him.
Oh, he did? Yeah. What did he do? He said no?
Yeah, he didn't want anybody coming over and seeing it.
you know, it's bad. I lived in the condo years ago, and we had a neighbor that had junk that was like 4 feet tall.
Yeah, we've seen it.
Yeah, she crawled, nasty. But you couldn't tell because when you see her walk from her car, she looked clean.
I went out to one this year that was that bad. If not worse, because it was mostly trash. Sometimes they have at least stuff.
Sheridan Auto Tech is the place to go for value, convenience, knowledge, honesty, all the things you want in a car place. Kevin has. Uncle Kevin Calkin, he's the owner, and he treats his customers like family. More than 20 years of service. And as I said before in his commercials, they do electrical repairs, which are very, very rare, plus regular repairs and maintenance on Colfax and Lakewood, just west of Wadsworth, on Havana in Aurora, just south of 6th Avenue. SheridanAutotech.com, 303-455-7242. That's SheridanAutotech.com. If you need a new HVAC system, don't hesitate. There are problems with supply chain. I hope people really get it through their heads. It's happening. Fix It thought ahead, and they have systems now ready to install at just $77 a month with no wait. FixMyHome.com. Also, they bought enough components to keep your older systems running. So either way, maintenance or replacement, FixMyHome.com. That's Fix It 24/7. 720-526-3939. 720-526-3939.
Amendment 7 is a measure on this year's ballot to ensure that public dollars are spent in a transparent way. Voting yes means state money will only be spent after public hearings and input from elected representatives and citizens from across the state. Amendment 78 will shine a light on all spending by the state government, including a number of funds.
When do you think they're going to put a warrant out for his arrest?
Should do it already.
They should have a warrant by now. But let's see. The coroner's got the body, right?
Yeah, they're doing all that.
I said the coroner's got the body, right? We don't have a cause of death at this point in time.
They know what happened.
Yeah, they know what happened, but we haven't heard it yet. That's what I'm saying, When they say what killed her, there's got to be an
blow to the head.
There's got to be.
That's what I'm guessing.
There's got to be a
blow to a head.
There's got to be a.
How do you beat up? Oh my God! What a piece of shit.
There are certain things you can't imagine because your mind doesn't act that way. It's like people kill their kids. Anybody in this room would step in front of a bullet or, what they say to save their kid. So there is no way you in your mind can envision how you could hurt your own child. Your mind is not capable of doing it. There's some rewiring that goes on with people that are able to do that you just can't associate. You can't understand how somebody could do that to their own kid, right?
Are they closet sociopaths?
Well, no, what I'm saying, whatever it is that allows them to do that, your mind cannot do that because you're
The worst was that Yates lady that killed her. 5 of her kids, one at a time, drown them in the bathtub while the other ones watch.
That's the darkness, man.
But I'm saying there's no way that you can wrap your mind around it.
No, you can't. That's the dark. I mean,
she's burning in hell.
No. She was truly nuts, man.
She's in prison.
She's in a mental hospital. She got off on not off. I mean, she's going to be in a mental hospital forever. They truly nutcased her.
They nutcased her. Yeah, we're going to put you in the box, Dave, because we got to study you for a while.
She was a real deal criminally insane. Real deal, man. She was in a really weird church. And she was convinced that Satan was on earth, and if she didn't kill her kids, in order to get them to heaven, they were going to end up getting taken over by Satan. But she really believed it. I mean, no doubt, man.
And still does, in other words.
I don't know if she does
she
now.
She did at her trial. Or she didn't go to trial?
There wasn't a trial. She was found criminally insane. Or that's what they found.
Incompetent to stand trial, right?
Fuck, that was crazy shit. Ooh, there was the other one. The woman had, I think, one kid, maybe two kids in the back seat, drove her car into the fucking lake and said some black dude ran up and fucking did it.
That's Karen.
That's
a Karen.
Karen with homicidal.
That's so fucking crazy.
That's a KKK Karen. The Karen.
That is a KKK Karen.
Gory.
What about that lady that married the guy that killed, that his wife died? He was part of the Friends of the Mormon Church, and she had two kids, a little boy.
That one was crazy as shit.
I don't know. What is
and
that?
The girl.
I didn't hear
the girl.
What
they
happened?
caught up to her in Hawaii.
What happened?
Yeah.
Mark, what happened?
Both kids disappeared. They were on a very offshoot of the Mormon Church. I mean, like, not it didn't even resemble.
Were they her kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids.
And they basically they found the bodies finally.
Her brother shot and killed the ex-husband.
Oh,
Tom Martin.
No, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Daniel, if you can hang, please hang on. Deputy Doc, he went shopping for an apartment while his place is being built, and Daniel, he'll tell you what he did. What did you do?
Hey, Daniel, it's very simple. If you don't have access to a computer, go to a library, get on the computer, and you just Google apartments for rent in Denver.
That's all he did.
That's all I did. Or you go to Zillow or apartments.com.
And believe it or not, it's actually a good time for good renters with money, because so many are being evicted for COVID, for lack of payment during COVID. Yes.
A couple of pieces of information for Daniel. I got a call from a lady who's in the rental business, says right now, if you go on Craigslist or whatever, sublets are real hot right now. I don't know if it's the time of year, but it's easy to get subleases right now.
You just have to be really careful with Craigslist that you don't get scammed.
I know, but there's a lot out there. And then Ant suggests...
We'll help you through that process, yeah.
And our audio engineer suggests hotpads.com, and they'll show rooms for rent, subleases.
What was it again? Hot what?
Hotpads.
Hot pads for rent.
Hot pads, yep.
Most people do want a reference, though.
Hot pads, yeah.
Okay.
Daniel, as far as, you're a postal worker, or ex-postal worker, you have a pension money, I think you shouldn't have a problem. Now, Mark, do they actually want previous landlords to give references?
Normal places do. I don't know about some Craigslist room for rent.
No, but...
Aunt, tell us how hot
You try to move
works.
it across the street over here, I assure you, you're going to have probably two different references.
Aunt's used hot pads before.
It basically works like you go in and you decide what you want, a condo, townhome, apartment, house.
And then they filter it. They filter the search.
Yeah, and you do like I did like private rent by owner because I had to like an eviction on my record, and like that way.
Okay. And then as a private owner, you can explain stuff to them like this. It's going to be bad though if they ask why you're leaving. If you tell them they asked me to leave, that's a bad deal.
Yeah, well, that's part of the problem.
Well, how about this, Daniel? Daniel, how about this? Why don't you talk to those people and say, listen, at least don't give me any reference at all, but please don't give me a bad reference, because then it'll be more difficult for me to get out of here.
I think a lot of it's going to depend on how he leaves the place.
Or can they say, if you leave it clean, to ask him that. If I leave this place clean, or promise to leave it clean, will you give me a pretty good recommendation? At least, he paid on time, he was quiet, he kept to himself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you need to have some people on your side, Daniel.
So they can actually unload on me, I presume. I mean, obviously, I'm in a downward spiral here.
No, you're not. No, you're not. That's only in your eyes.
So I go out and I try to find an apartment, and they're gonna, I've seen the question: have you ever been asked before to leave or doodah? I've never been evicted before. Apparently, it has gone that way. And
I don't know why you have to share if you were asked to leave. Come on. I mean, if it's no eviction, and if you paid on time...
Well, where he's going to get caught is, they're going to say, where'd you live before?
I'm supposed to ask them to give me, it's like a reference from job per se. I'm supposed to ask him, don't give me a bad hit?
No, here's what I would say to them. Listen, say, look, I'm really trying to find another place, and no doubt they're going to want references. I promise you, okay, that I'm going to get out of here, but I need a reference. At least try to confine your reference to, I wasn't noisy, I didn't make trouble, I paid on time. Just please, if you could, refrain from any negative feedback, because that'll make it more difficult for me to get a place. I'm not going to ask you that they lie, but just say, please, if you could refrain from negative feedback and concentrate on the positive side, that I paid, I kept to myself, I wasn't any trouble. That's what I would ask him to do.
So if you rented...
It sounds like I'm begging.
Well, it doesn't sound like you're begging. You're just trying to bargain out of this place.
Yeah, I just want to leave already.
Why didn't you get it cleaned up then?
Well, this is a long story, man. I'm just that way, man.
What's going to happen? Let me ask you this.
Not to the cleanliness that it was when I moved in.
Okay, but what's going to happen in your next place? Are you going to get cluttered again?
Yeah, it's possible, but no, I don't think so.
I think we're all talking around the elephant in the room. You're the one that told us from a 1 to 10, 10 being the worst hoarder ever, you were a what? Do you remember what you told us?
An 8?
A 9.
9?
That's what he said.
Well,
see, Daniel, here's the point. When you try to run away, oops, there you are again. So you can't run away from yourself. So you got to tackle that hoarding problem, man.
And as far as the place you're in now, I bet if you cleaned it up, left it in good shape, well, forget about staying there. They'll probably be more likely not to throw you under the bus as a reference. If you left the place totally trashed, oh, my God, I'd throw you under the bus. If that was my property, wouldn't you?
Yeah, they're not going to give you a good reference if you leave that place trashed. Were you planning on cleaning it up before you left?
Oh, yeah. I've already in fact, some of your referrals have called me, but it's not going to be, it's going to be expensive. It's not going to be as spotlessly clean as it was when I came here. Put it that way, Tom.
Well, I think they'll be happy if you just get the crap out of there, and don't take it with you to the new place either, man. Don't. And we'll help you walk through that process, but you got to start moving. You keep talking about spiraling and that kind of juggling and all, keeping all these balls in the air. It doesn't have to be that way. Change your mental attitude. Bruce, your dad passed away. I'm sorry to hear that, sir. And you have a leased car now?
Yes, he signed a lease June of 2020 for 36 months.
Okay.
And he passed away last week. I have not notified the leasing company yet because I wanted to ask you, do I have any leverage? The car only has 8,000 miles.
Now, when you say leverage, what do you mean by that? Because unless, the estate, it's a bill of the estate.
That car is probably worth more than it was when he leased it. You could actually be in a great circumstance. How does that generally work in a lease? Can he take it over or no?
Well, with their permission, he can.
And why would they do that if it's worth a lot more? They're going to want it back.
Here's the point. It all depends on the lease itself. Do you have, and I need to know this, do you have power of attorney, or are you the personal representative?
My wife is.
Okay.
She's here with me.
I got it.
Yep.
If she's the personal representative, then she needs to notify all the debtors of the estate, and that's one of them. Does he have any money and assets?
Yes, he does.
Okay. They may want to be paid a deficit or an early termination fee. It depends on what says about death. You got to read the lease if you can. Otherwise, call them, and you have to tell them he's dead, and that, are you opening probate?
No, we're not doing probate.
Well, how are the assets being, does he have, was everything in a trust?
Everything was TOD accounts.
Okay, good. Then, you know what? That's going to be difficult for them to collect anything. You might just want to turn it in.
You know, in general, everything I'm reading is saying that pretty much the estate's going to end up paying the lease. But once again, and you'd be able to drive the car,
but there's
have
no
access to
estate
the car.
because they're not even opening probate.
Right.
Correct. Hey, can you ask Blake something? You know, I don't know if we've ever talked about that. He's not actually, I don't know if we have time, but we can get you, listen, we can get a world-class attorney on to talk about this, Bruce, tomorrow if we can't get him right now. Hold on. 303-713-TALK. Make this fast, Doug. What did you want to do? You wanted to give a shout-out to Daniel?
No, to people like Suze and my office manager, Marla, for guys like you and me, we can't make it without them. We just can't, Tom.
You're right. You're right. And what made you give a shout out? Is it National Shout Out to Women's Day? Or
No. I was listening last week, and you just called on Sue so many times to get something done.
Right.
And she was right there and had everything for you.
Right there.
And, you know, I do that with my office manager. I call her up and I ask her a question. She's got the information. Right,
and you know what?
You know,
here's what females can do. Here's what females can do. They can multitask way better than males. I don't care what you say. It's just built in. I'm Tom Martino.
You call it multitasking. I call it remembering what the fuck they were doing. Because I forget.
They got that recorder that goes, right? That's why when they throw something at you done 3 years ago, you've already forgot about it.
I used to call my ex-wife RW, the robo-wife, because she was handling my son, the office, me, all at the same time. She was
This a bitch. I think this fucking broke. This is, yeah, it did. It broke and left a sharp edge. I'm such. How do I have like acid coming out of my ears or something that this thing would corrode? Shit. I love these better than headsets, Mark. I'll never go back to headsets if I don't have to. But I have a few more of these molds hidden away somewhere from my TV days. Every time they did a new one, I would keep the old ones.
Try great tasting Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients to support
I have
immune.
one mold in my left ear, and I can't stand it. I just have been so used to my right ear over the years.
For more information, including consumer survey details, please visit Ensure.com.
Mark Paragon.
All right, check it out. It wasn't more than 2, maybe 3 years ago, my insurance company came out to my house after a hailstorm, and they told me I didn't have any damage. Well, I'll be danged. I looked across the street the next weekend, and my neighbors are getting a new roof, and apparently their homeowners agreed that there was a hailstorm, so I called up Matt at Paragon Services. Matt came out. He's a adjuster, by the way. He came out and actually got involved very quickly, and what I loved about it, I'm not going to lie, well, he got me $70,000. Yep, from $0 to $70,000 thanks to a public adjuster, and the guy I use is Matt. He owns Paragon Services. He works the entire Front Range. So to be very clear with this messaging, if you have any issue whatsoever, think you should be getting paid more on your claim or getting paid something on your claim, you call Paragon for free help. 719-726-0020 or go to referrallist.com and search Paragon.
Greenberry. There's health goals.
Sugar busters.
All right, Mark. So if I tell this thing to save a new profile, okay, then what it does is it takes everything I've got here and saves it in that profile.
I keep the one there,
No,
and then save that as a new one.
Yeah, I kept one there. I saved mine under a new name. There you go. And now I'm going to start, and tomorrow I'm going to try and open up in mine and throw stuff away that I don't want. The worst case scenario, I just go back to the other one if we got a problem.
Do you want to do it? I mean, all your deals are screaming. I was going to say, do you want to do a screaming deal while you're here? A one-up or anything? I don't care. I mean, you don't have to. Your prices are good enough. You don't.
Find it in a bowl of Greenberry cereal. Pick up a box today.
Greenberry, healthy cereal for your family.
Greenberry. Sounds like brown.
You know, it's one thing I found fascinating is that, you know, the rental market in our customer base just isn't there. But, I'm not complaining, That's one thing is that with our customer base, because we focus, on the 3 counties plus with your show, nobody gets asked about a rental.
Yeah, well, why would they?
Yeah,
Well, really, why would they? If you're the landlord, you're not going to want to have to put it in. You're not drinking. It's just going to be another expense, another thing to have to maintain. And then if you're not the landlord, you sure don't want to better your landlord's property.
Exactly. And so a lot of these guys, they tell you when you're, starting in the industry, everybody wanted to build up their rental like recurring revenue. But, a lot of our customers just want to purchase. It's just purchase. I'll do like an in-house financing for 3 months, to save up, that way I don't have to pay a finance fee. This aren't doing it's crazy. The finance company want to charge me to do business.
No, well, what they want to do is give you a discount and take the spread.
Well, yeah, that's basically it. You have to discount and then they take the spread. So then you're down another $400 if you want to do a finance.
Yeah, that's how they make the money, though.
Your tickets, theoretically, it opens up your market.
Well, the other thing, like, have you ever used Wells Fargo Financial?
No.
You should look into them because some of their stuff, what they're banking on is that, you offer 1 year no interest at all, and they're banking that person doesn't pay the entire thing up when it balloons. Then they kick on 21%, so they don't charge as much up front.
I'll check into that. Yeah, the other one was out of Chicago, Aqua Finance Search.
Wells Fargo is probably the largest in the country.
Call them.
Indeed, we do.
I use them for Mountain Peak. I use them for, I did use them a little bit for hard to qualify people and Goodyear because the Goodyear credit cards.
Did you see my shirt, by the way? Did you read it?
Old guys ruin it.
But you read the rest?
Oh, God.
It's too small.
No, on the back.
Still too small.
No, man.
If you're not from around here, if you don't know me, you're not from around here.
Where'd you get that?
Stephanie got it. And if you don't know me, you're not from around here.
Stern had a shrink on that evaluated the whole staff. And he said something so interesting. He goes, if most people answered the questions the way you guys did, just as a very general statement, we would think you're all narcissistic and all these other words. But the reality was, because of the fame they all have, they truly are that way. I mean, it's fucking true, though. It's really unique. Most people that think that way generally aren't that way.
Yow.
Hi, Tom Martino. Don't forget RealCBDThatWorks.com. RealCBDThatWorks.com for pain, inflammation, anxiety. Put Tom in the promo code at that website and get 30% off. RealCBDThatWorks.com. And by the way, that's Panacea Life Sciences. Paul the Waterman is with us from WaterPros.net. WaterPros.net. And we talked about conditioning, softening, treatment, all the things doing with water. Basically, there's 2 things you do for water. You purify it for drinking, or filter it, or you soften it for cleaning and for preservation of pipes. Or you do a combination of those. What's the most popular you're doing, Paul, the filtration or the softening?
It's probably the softening is the most popular. And I'll tell you what I do, if you don't mind. If people go to waterpros.net and you fill out a form for a free water test, we'll offer an additional 10% off a purchase.
Oh, that's very cool. And that's waterpros.net.
Mention Tom Martino.
Yes, waterpros.net. Let me give out your number. It is 303-862-5554. 303-862-5554. Hey, don't forget, folks, you can always reach us at 303-MARTINO. If someone is doing you in, doing you bad, doing you dirty, we can help you. That's 303-MARTINO. And referrallist.com for help, information, and referrals.